Hi there. This is Professor Monty, and we're talking about inequalities. So inequalities, when we look at this, it says A, we read this A is less than B. So A is less than B, which really means A is to the left of B if we're looking at a number line. So this would mean A is less than B. We can also look at it this way. If we turn it around, A is greater than B. So this time A is to the right of B. So it would have to be like this on a number line. Now, to help you remember one of two ways, and I would suggest learning one of the two ways, whichever makes more sense to you. We can either say the inequality, if we think of that as kind of an arrowhead, is pointing at the smaller number. So A is less than B. Oh, that's the smaller one. Or some people like to think of it kind of as a mouth, like an alligator mouth, and it's hungry, and it's trying to eat the bigger one because it's really hungry. And so it's opening up towards the bigger one. So it either points to the small one or it opens up to the big one. Whichever way makes more sense to you, that's how you should try to remember. Okay, so we go one more step. If we put a line underneath it, that means it could also equal. So this would say either A is less than B or it's equal to B. We read it, A is less than or equal to B. So think about what's going to be true. For example, 3 is less than 5. We can say 3 is less than or equal to 5. That's true. It can't be both. It's an or statement. It's one or the other. This can't be both in this case. 3 is either less than 5 or it's equal to 5 for this to be true. And this is true because it is less. And we could even write it as 3 is less than 5 if we wanted to. But it's also true to say 3 is less than or equal to 5 because of the less than. Similarly, 7 is less than or equal to 7 because they're equal. And remember, it can only be one of those two. Same thing with greater than or equal to. A is greater than or equal to B. So we could say A is greater than or equal to 2 because it is greater. Or we could say something like -1 is greater than or equal to -1 because it is equal. All right, let's see some examples. So let's erase some of this. We'll go ahead and erase it all since we're here. So some examples. Say I have 4 and 2. Well, the idea is, think of a number line. There's 0. If I count out 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 2, there's 4. Oh, 2 is less than 4, so it's going to be pointing at the 2, or it's going to hungry, it's opening to the big one. Oh, 4 is greater than 2. That's true. You can read it either way. 4 is greater than 2, or 2 is less than 4. Either way, it makes sense. 4 is to the right of 2. It's bigger. It's greater. Well, what if we have something like -3 and -1? The negatives are a little more confusing, but let's start again at 0. 1, 2, 3. Well, there's -3. There was -1. Oh, -3 is to the left of -1. This time the inequality goes this way. Remember, with either of these, we could have put the less than or equal if we wanted to. That's still true. Or this one, 4 is greater than or equal to 2. Still true. But we can just put the strict inequality, they say, if it doesn't have the equals. But that's the idea. So if you can picture the number line in your head and you know which one's smaller or which one's to the left, you can just do the less than. If you need the number line and you need to jot it out real quick, go ahead and do that. Remember, the greater means it's to the right. The less than means it's to the left. All right. I think you can get this. It just takes a little practice.